Welcome to this video on the Zenwar channel. Today in this video I'm going to teach you and show you the practice that I use to become enlightened. Okay, so I became enlightened in this lifetime and I'm going to show you this practice. Okay, so I'm going to slowly set up to show you how to set up for meditation, and I hope you enjoy this video, and if you choose to practice the practice of Zenwar or any tradition with the purpose of enlightenment, I hope that you do find enlightenment in your lifetime. So I'm going to show you. Okay, so first you're going to want to set up your area where you're going to practice. Okay, I recommend a place where you're going to be for a big part of the day. Okay, and to actually incorporate that practice of sitting. Right, sitting is very important. Okay, standing practice. Okay, learning energy, understanding energy, but also sitting. Okay, actually having that sitting practice, incorporating that into your practice. Okay, so you're going to want to find a nice, comfortable area. Okay, I recommend sitting on the floor. Okay, because that way you can very well practice really maintaining that straight and stable spine, and extending the spine, and extending the processes of energy with the spine. Okay, so you're going to want to find a place. Now I'm going to start by showing you this mat of mine. This is my meditation mat. Okay, my brother gave me this mat from one of his travels, from one of his trips, and this is actually the mat. Okay, I'll bring it closer a little bit. The mat, the meditation mat on which I became enlightened. Okay, so first you're going to set it up. Okay, and as you get the different levels of practices, you'll see the difference between setting it up with the little filaments of the mat towards the right or the left. These are details and we won't talk too much about that. Okay, so basically as you set up the mat, next you're going to want to get comfortable. Okay, so you're going to sit down on your meditation mat. You can have a little cushion for your butt if it feels more comfortable, but eventually you want to get to that point where you're going to be probably sitting on the floor directly. Okay, you really have that connection with the ground, with the floor. Okay, and that stable connection. Okay, the difference between how much of you touches the ground, right, and what is the stability of your foundation of your posture. Okay, so as you sit on the ground, okay, once again incorporating sitting into your practice. Okay, you do want to be doing this regularly. Okay, so you have different positions you can get in depending on how flexible you are. I'm not a very flexible person at this point in this age of my life, although I was pretty flexible in my younger ages. So basically, depending on what posture you want to take, I became enlightened in this position here. Okay, a form of half lotus position right here. So this is the position in which I became enlightened right here. Not with my hands, actually. My different positions that I was practicing with my hands, right? So basically what I recommend to practice enlightenment, to really get to that practice of enlightenment, is to go like this, right? And you can recognize this posture, right? You can really recognize this posture from forms of Buddhism, right? It's variation in that way, okay? And really that meditation type of Buddhism is really very important in Zenwar practice. And there are different postures that you can hold when you sit down, right, to get comfortable. This is a very comfortable one for me, right? And symbolizes that you basically make yourself open and available for enlightenment, for the moment of enlightenment, okay? So you don't concentrate on becoming enlightened when you practice. You just practice for practicing with that goal down the line of becoming enlightened. So you're not thinking, I'm going to become enlightened right now. No, what you're going to be practicing, okay, is different things, okay? So as you get comfortable, as you get yourself in your position, and you basically establish a position that you will maintain and keep practicing in, a comfortable position, right? This one here, a position where you leave yourself open, right? So what you want to do is you want to pull your shoulders back. You see that in a lot of postures of shoulder. Pull your shoulders back, really extend the spine, and really lift that spine, push towards the top with your spine and the top of your head, right? Really doing that in that way and keeping the shoulders back, relaxed in that position that way, and extending forward. You can even visualize yourself slightly lifting the chin, but not too much. You're not tilting your head backwards, you're more like pushing your head backwards with your shoulders. So you're setting that position, pushing your head backwards, okay? a little bit in that sense, okay? If you see some Egyptian sculptures back in the day, you'll see they had elongated heads back in the back, pushing the back of your head a little bit back as you straighten your spine, really, and find that posture, right? That elevation of the spine, elongating the spine, bringing those shoulders back and maintaining that stability of that posture, and really that posture where you now have that straight spine. Okay, at this point, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to practice the breathing that you're going to be doing. So the breathing you're going to practice, okay, you can practice different forms, okay, different forms of this breathing, and you can adapt to different counts, right, as you evolve in your practice. But the fundamental practice of Zen Warrior is the 4-second count, okay? So you breathe in for 4 seconds, 4 counts, you hold for 4 counts, you exhale for 4 counts, and you stay without air for 4 counts. And you practice and you incorporate this into your practice while you sit. And at first, at the beginning, you'll have to think about that count, and eventually you just ease into that count and get used to the timing of that count, okay? The next thing you're gonna be practicing is no mind, still mind, right? So as you meditate, as you're doing that practice, okay, you might have thoughts that come into your mind. You're gonna be practicing thinking about nothing, having no thoughts, okay? And that can be difficult for some, you know, and that's part of your practice and practicing on that. So the still mind. If you have difficulty, one technique you can use is visualize a center line, okay, which is your no thought line, okay, which is where you want to be. And when you have a thought, it pushes you to the left or to the right of that line. Force yourself back to that center line of no thought. And that will become easier with time as you practice. The next thing you want to be practicing is your eyes, what you do with your eyes. You can practice in this way with eyes closed, and you can practice with eyes open also, okay? So to practice with eyes closed, just close your eyes, okay? And once again, no thought. You can be conscious of what you see with eyes closed, but no thought, okay? And if you practice with eyes open, okay, what you will do is you will basically focus on a point that is a few inches just in front of your eyesight. Maintain that posture with your spine, right? Just with your eyes slightly looking down, and just right in front, you could say almost right in front and right above your nose, right? Just really looking down and really just making that focus on that point, on that one point, right, with your eyes, right? And basically being conscious of basically that meditation, that focus with your eyes at that point, okay? And as you meditate and you practice, right, with that posture, your asana, the practice you hold, your practice of concentration with your eyes, okay, and your practice of no thought, okay? And as you incorporate all these elements into your practice, you leave yourself available. You basically make yourself available, open to the experience of enlightenment, okay? And if you become enlightened in this lifetime, in this practice, you know, I do invite you to leave a comment on this video, on this channel, to say I succeeded in becoming enlightened, right? And at that point, I hope that leads to many, many wonders in your life, okay? So this is a practice to become enlightened, okay? This is really a practice that you can practice, okay? And incorporates the practice of sight, the practice of no thought, incorporate the practice of control of breath, right? And control of posture, okay? And all these different elements together make you available, make you open for the moment of enlightenment, okay? And you want to be practicing this regularly so that when that one moment, when that one window of your enlightenment arrives, you're open and practicing and you become enlightened, okay? And you can now become an enlightened being that works at the level of the world, right? As an enlightened being to basically help guide the world into all the most beautiful wonders of creation and work with all the enlightened beings together really to support and help preserve life and creation and really make sure that creation stays on that good path. I thank you for listening to this video on the Zen Warrior channel and wish you a wonderful day. Now on that note, I'm going to stand up for a second. Show you once again the mat on which I became enlightened, right? And may the good vibrations in this mat and the good vibrations of life in general help you on the way to enlightenment. Thanks for listening.